Collins for our past Alderman, Darrell Lemon. Thank you. May I have a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Hutchinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Woody. Councilman Meinke. Councilman Bullen.
Here.
Councilman Howe.
Here.
And Mr. Mayor.
I'm here. We have a forum.
We have
The first thing is for filling council seat, Ward 1, seat 1.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to nominate someone for that seat.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Joey Greed for that seat. Joey served 6 years on the council, and I think he would be a great addition and someone that could hit the ground running, and that's what we need right now.
I'd like to second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Reed, Joey, would you please come up here? Got to swear you in, not swear at you, but swear you in. Repeat after me. I, Joey Greed. Do solemnly swear. Or affirm that I will.
Support
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of Arkansas.
and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Alderman, Ward 1, Seat 1.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Alderman, Ward 1, Seat 1,
Upon which I am now about to enter.
upon which I am now about to enter.
Okay, your term begins today and ends 12/31 of 2026. Congratulations. You may want this too, to identify yourself.
You don't have.
And your tablet is charged and on.
That's why I gave you papers this time. Okay, next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes on the last one. Have you all looked them over? You have any questions on them?
I move we approve the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer's report. Any questions on the treasurer's report so far?
I had my notes from workshop. There was a line item in other revenues from payroll for $2,538. Did we ever figure out what that was from?
Without my computer in front of me, I need to look at it.
Which one were you talking about, on which department?
On fire statement of revenue and expenditures, I noticed that last week that it wasn't on the last expenditure report, and now it's on there, line item 1475 for $2,538.22. It's labeled as from payroll.
Chief, do you know anything about that?
No, that would be in my computer. You would know.
Yeah, but it's we're receiving it as revenue. So you receive something that you know.
I do apologize.
No, not you, chief, fire chief. Is it right in my correct line?
It'd be speculation, but yes, without clarification, I don't know.
Chances are it's an error that I have put it in the wrong line item.
Okay, thank you.
Down further on the agenda, we'll have two items for our amended budget, so we'll get to that later during the evening. Do I have a motion to accept the treasury report as written on the tab?
I'll make a motion.
Any other second? All those in favor? Any opposed?
No.
Okay, the next one is report submitted. Police, do you have any questions for the police chief on his report? Looking for a motion to accept his report as written. Anybody wants to make a motion?
No. Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Fire, you guys have any questions on the fire report?
Motion to accept. Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Streets, you have any questions on the streets department?
Motion to accept.
Can I give a second? Second. Now, with discussion, I just want to let you guys all know that we've received a permit for Dan Hooser trees, and we're going to try to get to all those permits prior to dam jam, but there's not going to be a guarantee, but we will. There's 48 trees that are in Dam Site Park. We got the permits for them, and we already trimmed the trees that were there. That we got permission to trim. So
Are these permits to remove them or trim them?
there's I think 8 that were trimmed. I think he's got a numbers report, but 48 were removals. For all the dead trees, they got the ash. What is it? The beetle. The boar beetle. Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor, and we already got a motion and a second, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Water, you guys have any questions on water? I just want to add that our water department for the last week, we have found over 10 water leaks on our side of the line. So we're already recuperated 30 gallons a minute. So that has improved. With that, we also were able to identify 2 water leaks on the residential side because the grass was green. This is the time to look for it. Okay. Any questions? Have a motion to accept water?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, sewer. Any questions on sewer? There's a second?
Second.
Okay, I would like to add that with this, after we take our vote on this, I'd like to find, well, let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The thing that I want to find out from the council is, should we go ahead with taking out the secondary headworks, sending it off to that company to get it refurbished, and spend the $1,300 shipping cost, and they'll refurbish it free of charge. I'm just, I'm bringing it out right now, is, I'd like to see if we want to do that, I need a motion for it, and, you know, second it and vote on it.
Seems like everybody was in agreement that having a refurbish $200,000 piece of equipment was worth $1,300 cost last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1,300 one way, and we would have to go pick it up, or they'll ship it back, and we're gonna pay that shipping freight too, so.
I don't know, if they're $2,600 versus $200,000.
Well, and during the budget committee, I mean, the sewer department made it pretty clear that they're running pretty lean on backup equipment. And I think this is pretty cheap insurance for the community to have something that we can get for, even if it is $2,600 or 20 whatever, you know, $2,000 plus. It just doesn't make sense not to do this, to have something in, you know, in reserve.
I know that we filed do it for Brooklyn, that was given to us.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, on parks.
Did we vote on the minutes for sewer? Did we approve that? Okay.
Yeah, we approved the minutes.
Can I
I
back
actually
up?
got it this right this time.
Can I back up for a second? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I guess I don't know where this fits in. We got the hydrant report in our packet,
Right.
and it looks like there's a few hydrants that need repairing. I guess I'm kind of hazy, maybe the chief can fill me in. Who actually is gonna do the repairs? Are we gonna do those in-house? And is that gonna be something that your department does, or is that gonna be something that water or sewer does? Who has the expertise? You know, I'm seeing all these, you know, needs oil screws and all of, they seem like they're easy things to kind of fix, but who does it?
So the equipment itself is actually property of the water department. So whenever it comes to it and it has something like that, it's a report to the water department, what kind of parts and stuff like that they'll need to order. We'll do the maintenance stuff, like a screw is easy. Sometimes they have to be drilled out, which a couple of those will. They get stripped, they get rusted, they wear out. Stuff like that, and painting, well, we take care of. When it comes to actually having to open the hydrant up, that'll have to be on the city, whether they can handle it in-house, which in some cases they can. Some they have to have an outside person come and do some of the repairs. So,
I was just unclear whose responsibility it was to actually do that. So it's not a cooperative thing?
yeah, it is.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sorry, didn't mean to get out of sequence.
I got something out of the sequence also, back to water. As you guys got information on our water situation, we need to decide on how we're gonna address this issue. As far as pursuing our delinquent $31,784 and people that owe the city for the water, sewer, and trash pickup.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sheet right here. There's about 75 names on it, and I'm starting at $100. There's probably about 45 names that are $100 plus. The rest of them are less than. And I think most of these people don't live here anymore, I'm assuming.
We're finding out that the previous administration did not follow the ordinance that's on the books.
These are all 22, I'm putting it 22, 23, 24, and 25 is what these dates are as far as the years.
And what we had done, probably 4 months ago, is if you're late, it's gonna be shut off. Okay, that's what our ordinance says. But previous administration did not do that. So how do we want to go after this month? Okay, there are ways to do that, if I'm correct.
Yes, there are. And my most straightforward suggestion would be, there are what's called creditors attorneys. So these are basically attorneys who specialize in collections. And I guarantee you that there would be several that if you said, hey, we've got this giant pile of stuff and a lot of this is to be form work, are you interested? I would not be surprised if there would be one or more that we wouldn't take them. So,
Do you have some, names that we can contact?
I don't, mostly because I do bankruptcy law, I'm a debtor's attorney, so I would consider no, we're not friends.
Right.
But, I should say, I know that there are plenty of good reputable firms that you would be willing to seek out, though I can't point to many of them.
Have we attempted to reach out to any of them yet, or have we just kind of?
Yes, we have. We've made contact with some of them, and they are on a program, where they pay an additional on top of their regular bill. And once they sign a contract with that, and once they violate that contract, then we shut the water off.
Well, if we've already gone through the motions of reaching out to, and I'd say creditors is next, is this typically a situation where they take something out when they get the money back, or do we have to pay up front?
So it's my understanding that it's possible to collect attorney fees on some of these actions, and so it should be possible, based on my understanding of what I was reading, that a creditor's attorney who was seeking fees would also be able to seek their attorney fees as part of that, so they would charge it to the person who is basically the party that they're collecting from would also suffer the cost of the attorney fees. So the city would necessarily pay.
It's not a moneymaker. I just want to make you guys aware that we need to do something.
We got to reduce
You know, it's gonna cost us money by hiring out an outside agency. We already checked into that, and they're gonna get most of the money.
Right. And so that would be why I would suggest credit attorney, because they're claiming attorney fees out of that, and the city doesn't have to fork over anything for it.
Yeah. We had talked to the prosecuting attorney, when he was in court, and basically he said we can take him to civil court, and, you know, for that way. Nobody seems to want to do any kind of criminal charges in this county.
But
And just to clarify, let's say for instance, somebody had a huge water leak in their yard or something, maybe they're out of town for a month or something, I think you would
Yeah, we're gonna,
cover them a break on the,
On the cost, because that water did run into the sewer line.
Right.
And you normally use a charge for a sewer charge. I think it should be a water charge based on your water usage to get a sewer charge. So I think we've been more than fair with working with people under those circumstances. So all this is, I don't know, I give $8,000 for water.
they weren't collecting it, the way they should, and, I wanted to bring that to your attention. Plant, the parks. Lynn, do you have anything for the parks committee other than your report that was submitted?
Labor Day weekend, we should have between 17 and 18, even more, people in the park for Labor Day, which is really good, considering the kids are back at school, the weather and everything else. 18 and gentleman came in as I was down there tonight, and we got another site too, so I'm excited. It's usually very hard to get in people on the day.
Lynn, is there any damage to the parking area that's recently been reappeared because of the lake dropping down? Is there any damage down by the launch?
I haven't really been down here,
Jan, we
the
don't-
water hasn't.
We don't have no control over that.
Oh, okay,
That's
all
all
right.
game
The only
fish.
thing that we should do is go down and clean it.
Okay. I guess that's what I was asking, is if
Yeah.
it needs some work. Okay.
We'll probably need to.
All right, thank you.
And that's all game and fish.
Okay.
Okay, that, we're in charge of Browns Beach. Game and fish, they were supposed to be moving we can't even touch the boat, pier. Okay, they're the ones that are supposed to move it, and we're lucky they move it once a month. So, I mean, you know, maybe we can get the fire department to blow off some of the rusty water out of the tank and, you know, get the pavement down there for us.
I'm looking at that part.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Planning and zoning. Anything from planning and zoning? read over what, was submitted. Any questions? Resolution from, Bel Arco was submitted to planning and zoning. They recommend that, we didn't want to read it, so. Make a motion to accept the planning and zoning report. Motion submitted. I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee, I just want to let you know that I made a new water sewer committee. Roger Edkin will, water supervisor, Mike Salatine, sewer supervisor, Russ Meinking, Alderman Joey Reed, John Stafford, Alan Wood, and Bruce Powell are on the water sewer committee. And we did hold a meeting with the company, and we'll get to that. I guess we can get to that right now, since we have a gentleman here from Viking. There was only one proposal out of 6 that was turned into the city of Old Shoals, which we opened last week. And that was from Viking. The Water Sewer Committee met with the engineer Health, representing Health, and DJ with Viking, and went over the whole program. And we have the money set aside for this project. What's that?
What project?
The water tower project.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, for Browns Beach and Cold Mountain. And this proposal also included a maintenance program for the next until 2030. And each year we'll pay for Viking to come in once they do the refurbishing of both tanks. Each year they'll come in, inspect it, make sure that their work is correct and there's no problems. If there are problems with that maintenance program, they will fix it at their cost. Is that right?
Yeah, if I can clarify, until 2030 is just that first section. This is an annually renewed contract.
Right.
So as long as you keep the contract current, as long as you pay it, we're responsible for the asset. So 15 years from now, when this plant gets planned again, it's my problem, not the city's. So as long as you stay in that maintenance program, I'm responsible for managing and keep the upkeep of the asset.
Do you guys have any questions on?
Yeah, any questions, I'll be glad to go through anything you want.
It's the same plan that we presented with before.
Yes. So I can sign it and have this contract started, and we can get moving on these water towers. Yes,
We gotta get it done, and we have one day.
Right.
I motion to. Go ahead. I motion to. Okay, second. Okay.
All those in favor? Aye. Any discussion?
I want to say one thing about this, that, some people may be upset that we're taking this with one bid, but Viking has been responsive to every single thing that we have needed. They've answered every question that we've asked them, at least they've answered all my questions, and every time that we've interacted with them, they've been upfront about everything. So I don't think this is a case of we just got one bid, we gotta take it, it's the only game in town. These guys have put in the work, in my opinion, have put in the work on this project, and they seem to understand what's going on. And I think they've been straight with us, so I don't think that we're just settling because we got one bid, so.
BJ, I think that Roger's been working with you for the last 3 years on this project.
Correct, yeah. I mean, we've been moving towards this several times, it's just, there's delays and delays. This is
Yeah,
a
that's
big
time
project. it takes everyone a long time to get through. This isn't an overnight process, you know, even getting the tanks, you know, once the tanks are drained and painted, it takes weeks and weeks to do the actual work.
Right.
I commend you all for pushing through it, because it's, you know, it is a long process, and I think, you know, in the long run, in, you know, once everybody has stepped away from their seats, you know, the city already has a plan. You're putting in place a system where you won't ever have to do this again. You know what I'm saying?
They take one of those towers offline and drain it to city feed off the other tower too.
Yes. And I believe well, it's kind of up in the air which one we're gonna do first. I think we're.
Yeah, so just for, so you understand the big picture, I'm also doing a tank for Marion County, this fall. So being that you're all so close together and as I understand it, maybe tied together, we're gonna do one at a time. You've already got your permits for the plans, the engineer already secured the permits from the health department. So we're gonna start with one of your tanks most likely, because we're still waiting on permits on theirs. We'll probably do one, and once we're finished with painting, it takes about a week to cure it before we can fill it up with water, and then once it's filled, we have to do some sampling to make sure the water's being carried. So, you know, there's 10 days after we're done before I would even suggest anyone drain another tank. You know, within the city here or just outside. So we're probably going to get 2 of the tanks done this fall. The third may get pushed to spring, just depending on how it all falls together. You know, we tank grand tanks a year, so we got to fit in the schedule.
So, all those in favor? I think we did, but I don't know if, any opposed. So I guess they don't have any more questions for you.
Okay.
And I'll get these things, you want to wait around or you want to get signed one? Chamber news, Don?
Chamber, got a lot of projects going on, partnered with the city of Dam Jam, looking forward to that, let's get it coming together. We did Water Day Park, Dan big success. Kids had a lot of fun, we appreciate your help, appreciate it. Fire department coming out, and the kids enjoyed having a truck out there, and good time. And we are in the works on our next project, and then late fall, that we plan on using to boost park department budget. So we more news on that now as we work out some details and stuff. It's gonna be a good time. Thank you.
No, go ahead.
While we had down here, we were talking about the banners for the light poles, and we were gonna go half-piece with the chamber on that. Are we still on board with that? Have we figured out where we have the cost and materials?
Yeah, I think we're settling around in the $90 mark for bracket and banner. The banners are around 40, and the bracket, then it's tax. So altogether, each one would be about 90, and 5 banners down the road, it's 40.
I'd like to make a motion that we move forward on this, since it's gonna be a partial expense.
What are you looking for, going ads on?
Yeah.
With
We
the
had our
chamber?
original discussion.
Yeah. Question, yeah.
I got a question. We had asked for some information, I believe, Councilman Hutchinson has asked for some information about the grade of the materials, the grade of the bracket, because it seemed like that was a pretty low price, considering we wanted to last for quite a while. So, do we have any of that information?
We don't have, any specifics on the the material that it's made out of. These banners are the same, that Flippin recently purchased, in the same material, and they're the same price. The banners are not forever. They are, we had a discussion today there about, it's all in how you use it. If these things are gonna be seasonal, they're up for a while, and when they come down, you know, you should expect some life up. If it's something you're gonna stick on the pole and just leave it there year round, it's probably not gonna last, you know, I would say more than a year and a half or something. So, I mean, it just, it's blocked outside, in the wind, and, you know, it's in the sun and in the snow and all that elements that, can age pretty quick. So those are not a forever thing. But we had talked about this being an initial setup, and then possibly working towards in the future, doing a seasonal, maybe we have a winter set that kind of covers Christmas and stuff, and we have a summer, and then possibly eventually add in the spring and a fall to it. So.
Okay, so what are those as far as total price goes?
I don't have the tax numbers, but between the two, it's about $85 for a set of brackets and one banner.
How many banners?
How many banners and brackets are there?
We were talking about 30 on the split, so it'd be 15. So roughly we're $1,500 each side.
Yeah, I was gonna say about $3,000, so split that in half.
Mm-hmm.
Did you count the poles?
Yeah, and I think it's about 60, so we're not doing that. Yeah, so, yeah, and we'll still hash out some designs and make sure everybody's on board with everything we're doing ahead of time. What we want to do, if we want to put some of this seasonally, or how we want the 30 to look. Before we trigger forward any of that, but it's been kind of on stall. We talked about this, you know, a while back in July, early July. And everybody's had a few other projects going on, so we've been sitting on our hands waiting if it's available to go anytime.
Okay, so we should be able to have something by next month to look at it as far as designs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And I can get you specifics on materials and stuff, yeah. And I can reach out to Flippin and see what their life expectancy, what they've been getting out of there so far.
Right.
I think it'd be helpful if we could physically have one of the brackets. If we could talk to, you know, whoever's gonna sell these things, if we could just buy one of them and have it to just take a look at it. I think for me at least that'd be helpful to look at that. I agree, we gotta get this done. And I just don't want to get into something that's going to need to be replaced really quickly. Obviously, anything that hangs outside is going to get, you know. The expendable part is the band. That part doesn't really, I'm not really overly concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the brackets, because those are the pieces that should last a pretty long time.
So, yes, but we did go into this budget conference on this project, so we were looking to spend maybe not possible. We located a company that is their primary business, is making brackets for poles for banners. I didn't know the same distance, but that's what they do. And for the size that we were talking about, I can tell you these brackets have a spring-loaded effect to them to absorb some of the wind, because they're big banners that we talked about. And they're also parts that are readily available to replace them. So they're not a bracket that's going to last forever, I'll tell you that. But those brackets are probably in the $200, $220 range. So $80 to $220. I think it's something we should easily expect to see several years use out of. Also, you may notice that there are partial brackets on a lot of these poles that are still in existence from, I think, probably past projects. So I do think they will last, you know, barring any kind of hurricane, they probably will look at it. So, but yeah, we'll move forward with it on hammering down some more specifics. I'll see if I can locate this one project.
Yeah, and design. I mean, you know, we already know that we want the city logo, you know, and little shoals on there, and, you know, as far as the activities that we offer on our meetings. You know,
I was under the impression we already have, didn't we see something?
yeah, we got some, but, Don said that, we can even make it look more 3D, videos on it.
Trying to get a picture of you on the speed or something?
Well,
Yeah.
we have a small photo shoot, but tennis racket, you know, and so. Yeah, we'll bring up something before we purchase anything, so.
Yes, sir.
Where will that money come on?
Well, we have, I don't know. It's gonna be a good question, and we'll have to look at it, and we do have money in the general fund for Christmas, decorations,
Your Christmas decoration line item is $5,000.
you know, and the thing with that, you know, obviously those, if we get the, Christmas decorations for the 30, okay, and you guys did the other 30, you know, we're basically, you know, doing that as.
Yeah, you mean, sorry, we need 1550.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and that way it falls under the Christmas.
I mean, you know, it works for us.
And contract with our beautification plan to.
Yes.
You know, to Cotter or anywhere else they have these things, and it makes the town look better, and it's all part of the bigger picture.
Thank you, John. What's that?
Is this something too, Mike, that if Dan Jam generates some money, that later, like next year, Dan Jam can purchase banners to put on the holders?
Yeah.
And then just have it, you know?
So this year, you know, it wasn't about making money.
Right.
But,
Right.
yeah, next year's gonna be a little different situation with sponsorships and all that kind of stuff too. We kind of didn't want to go to money games.
Right. But I mean, that's the goal, is being able to generate some.
So next year, you know, it'll be a huge generator for parks fund. That's the whole mind.
Okay, I need a second on, motion to go ahead and,
All second. He makes it work.
okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, council member comments. Mike, you're on.
Alright, so Mayor and I met with the Corps of Engineers for the last week already. The colonel came down, just a couple of things, they definitely agree with us that the road is compromised, going down River Road there. So that was definitely an issue. The other end of this is, I know no one likes to hear this, but the Corps also has its own budget restrictions. So rather than them like signing a check like we all kind of imagined we hope they would, they want us to go through grant channels, and they supplied us with a few options. I'm going to just breeze through them real quick, kind of just give you the basics. The first one is a flat grant. We wouldn't actually know once we applied for this grant if there's even any money left till the end of October, because the grant processing period for it has already ended. Lucky us. It's also important to note that we're looking at some time on this. It's not going to be a fast process. We're dealing with the federal government and their property. So just for anyone that's thinking the road's going to be open next week, don't look at it.
The flat grant, they say, the earliest funding could be received for the next application period is 2030.
But that's the one they are really pushing. From what we heard, the FLCP grant would be a faster process. The caveat with this particular one is that we would actually cut our lease with the Corps in half. They would receive the golf course, we would keep dam user, and it becomes their profit. Right? Let's face it, the golf course section of that lease is nothing more than an expense. We don't use it for anything, so this is an option for us to be able to save some time and money, and our streets department. And this one would happen about 2 years sooner than the FLAP grant. So we would be looking at about 2 years without having the project completed. So there's that option. Then there's a third option where we would actually go through other state organizations, AGFC's river stream side program, where they would actually take that particular area, stabilize it, and make it into a functioning piece of waterway. Obviously, no trout are going to in there, but it would work basically like a really pretty ditch. That's the way to put it. But there's still a few other things to work out as far as information regarding the road itself with the Corps. But those are our options. We've been encouraged to basically throw them all at the wall and hope that some would stick. A really positive note is they are going to be working with us on this. You know, being there and being with the colonel, you know, it's kind of like watching the big boss come down. You know, and he's like, wait a minute, how long has this been going on for? How long has the mayor been trying to reach out to you about this type situation? So they're on it. They are committed to helping us through this process and helping us navigate it with the other various federal agencies. But like I said, you know, we are dealing with federal agencies and federal land, so it's going to be a process. So we've got to nail down which one we think is best and go from there.
What, did we ever really come up with a final estimate of what this is all gonna cost?
I think Bill had a rough estimate of it together, and it was in the ballpark of $650,000.
Okay, yeah, I heard something.
So, and you know, those are rough numbers.
Yeah.
It's obviously not a project that as a city we can take on our own. We also have a commitment to our natural resources as well. So I know there's a contingency of people that are like, fill the culvert, let it wash away. That's not the responsible thing to do for our ecosystem and for our river and for a resource that draws in a lot of money that we get from that to our bank stabilization and things like that. So we need to just go ahead and get out of our head that we're just going to say screw that property and let it get blown out by rain and possibly get people hurt or tear apart our things. You know, it's definitely a river lake community. We need to, I don't want to sound like a hippie, but we need to take care of our river too. That's all I got.
Any other discussion? Questions? Comments? This may be something that we'll have to, address here in the near future.
Well, we're gonna have to, if we're gonna do the broad approach here and see which one of these we can nail down. We already have some pretty good connections with AGFC right now, and we're our division with the stream team, but the Corps recommends that we file for all of these basically and see what happens. But like I said, the flood grant, we won't even know till the end of October if there's any money left in there.
Right, and the quickest it would be done would be 2030 is what we're saying.
Yeah. And with that LPT grant, as we mentioned, we wouldn't have to worry about a certain section of our lease anymore. They cut it in half and we get to keep that and turn it to operate the same way that it does when we have less against that. So we'll get this sheet out on the website for people to look at. I think it's a good idea so that they can have an idea and do their research so they can get back to us on their thoughts on it. But time's ticking. We gotta get moving if we're gonna get this project done. So, do your thing.
I have some questions. Number one, if we decide, because you and I have discussed this in the past, if just capping that road and going over it with a concrete bridge to deal with that, would that hurt our options as far as the grants go?
It possibly could. I mean, when we're talking about the cost of these projects, what you're talking about ends up costing us.
Yes, it does.
You know,
But it needs the roads open.
Well, I hate to say it like this, and this is just my opinion, we have several other roads out there. It's not like anyone's really losing, 2 minutes of time to go to CS Woods. I know it's an inconvenience, but I would much rather the federal government pay for a large project like this. Get it done right the first time, because let's say we need another day where we have 14 inches for 4 hours like we did earlier this year,
concrete.
This is an opportunity for us to get it done right. Is it a short process? No, but we seem to have an issue in this town where we like to just put Band-Aids on things, and then 4 years later, when a new administration walks in, well, now it's your problem. So let's do something right the first time, bite the bullet. It's not an easy process, it's not a fun process, but it's bureaucracy, and unless anyone has $650,000 they want to donate to the city.
And, I would encourage, all, any out there, and I'm, watching this, if you guys have, an opportunity to read these and give us suggestions, we need some feedback. It's for you folks. We're up here for.
So we'll get this on the website, so everyone can get that going. So if anyone with a pen, the two main options are the FLAP grant, FLAP, and FLPP, and then other potential sources of funding would be Arkansas Game and Fish Stream Team, partnering with Tron Unlimited, and Park Heritage and Outdoor Recreation grants and programs. Those would have to be things that we'd have to fill out down the road. But we'll get through it. It's infrastructure. Everyone's dealing with it across the state. So. All right.
One other thing I want to bring up for the budget committee is the court. We're going to have, it's going to increase $10 a month for just the vertical street. So it's an added cost coming down.
I had a couple of quick comments.
Yes.
About other things. I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm going to beat a dead horse a little bit. I want to commend the Chamber of Commerce on the Water Day event. For those of you that haven't come out to some of these chamber events, they're picking up steam every event. Every event that we do that is positive and community building and doesn't have an ulterior motive, we get more people at it. And I think the community is finally starting to realize that we are doing things as a community to build community. The chamber is, the council's trying to support that stuff. So even if it's not an event that you're necessarily interested in, because believe me, I wasn't going down the water slide. It was nice to go to the event and show some support. And these events are getting bigger every time, and there's more and more people coming out to them. So I want to kind of commend the community in general, but the chamber and the council working together to make these things happen. It's really kind of nice to see. I've got huge expectations for Dam Jam. I think things are going to be a lot better. And we're building community back, and that's what's important. To that end, there's been a lot of talk about the new owners of Bel Arco, and everybody seems to be drawing imaginary lines in the sand about where people stand and what people want to do, and people that want to kill community or kill business, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. We're trying to make some rational decisions that are going to affect the direction of this town. And to that end, I've talked to the mayor, and I've talked to Donnie at the chamber, and I've talked with Rick in planning and zoning, and I've put the finishing touches on a letter to all the stakeholders, basically all the resort owners, to start up the stakeholder meetings again outside of the auspices of the city or the planning and zoning committee. And the chamber has agreed that they will host the meetings for the shareholders, for the stakeholders, to get these resorts together as a group so that they can speak as a group. I don't think having 9 or 10 resorts in town and then have 9 or 10 people coming at us from 9 or 10 different directions is really going to do much. I think that they all need to decide where they want to go as resorts, and present a unified front to the planning and zoning, to the council, to everybody in town, so that we all know where they're coming from. Because right now, it's just a lot of noise. It's everybody kind of staking their own claim here, and I think it would be a lot more productive. And everybody seems to agree to that. So I'm finishing up a letter that's going to be sent out, a very nice cordial invitation to come to the stakeholders meeting. The first one we had was great, and then it just kind of didn't continue. And we need to continue. If we're going to focus on this problem, we need to do it as a unified front. So that's where we're going with that. So I just, in case you're confused about what's going on, I can tell you right now, there's nobody up here that wants to kill business in this town. That to even apply that is just sheer nonsense. So we're trying to get this straightened out, but we have to do it in a common sense kind of way.
Slightly piggyback off that real quick. You know, I commend the Planning and Zoning Commission for not approving that resolution, and I'll tell you why. The verbiage in it would give somebody free rein. It would give them written free rein. And I want everyone to look outside of this from a different aspect. Happens all the time across the country. If we give someone free rein to turn something into an apartment, you're going to get somebody eventually, you know, these are old buildings, they lack sprinkler systems, they lack fire detection systems, and it happens across the country. Somebody cooks a bowl of ramen on a hot plate with a place that doesn't have, you know, normal utilities or ranges and things like that, and a whole place goes up fire and a family ends up dying. From a safety aspect, giving someone free range to do this doesn't make sense. So as Kevin said, there's a right way to do this. We want our resources to succeed, but it needs to be done correctly. If somebody wants to make these measures, then we need to see the kind of schematics and blueprints that would dictate that it would be an apartment. We're not just going to let vultures circle our town and make this place a cash grab. Okay? Just because we need more housing doesn't mean we just open the floodgates. There's a way to go about this safely. No one wants to kill businesses. We're trying to work the best we can, coming up with different options, permitting systems for people to be able to have longer stays. But we need to knock off this nonsense that anyone's trying to kill business. What we're trying to do is do it the right way, the first time, so that 20 years from now, a group of people sitting up here isn't dealing with the same garbage that we're dealing with right now. So let's lighten up on the agendas and understand that we're just a bunch of people trying to work it out together.
Any more comments? Citizens' comments on the agenda items only. Do you have any?
As a former business owner of a company that manufactured and installed street banners, I strongly recommend that you do not write a check until you know exactly what you're getting. You should require a written quotation that includes specifics of the poles and how they attach, materials of construction, expected lifetime, and on the banners, you should require a preprint proof of every banner. You should know exactly what the material is, single or double-side print, how it's printed, whether the rod pockets are taped or sewn. You should, even if you take a bargain option, know what you're getting.
Tim Curtis, Bulldozer, Arkansas. I'd just like to say, as a citizen, that I am saddened by the loss of Carol. He did a lot for the city. But congratulations, Joey, on being elected. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments on the agenda items only? We'll move on. Old business, we have an ordinance 2025-09 up for a second and third reading by title only. Ordinance number 2025-09, an ordinance providing for short-term rentals and providing guidelines and procedures for short-term rentals within platted subdivisions within an R zoning and will Shoals, Arkansas. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Make a motion for a third reading. I move. Mayor, second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Sorry.
Yes.
You're gonna wait till next meeting for the third reading.
We could do 2 readings at one meeting. We read the first by title, the whole resolution
Right.
last meeting.
Right, you'll need to do it at the third reading at the next meeting.
Unless we suspend the rules, correct?
You could, but there's not gonna be a cause for it.
Huh?
There's not gonna be a cause for it. I mean,
Push it to third.
sorry. I think it's the main time, but.
Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance number 2025-11, to be read by title only, for second reading. An ordinance setting water and sewer deposit fees and outstanding debt for homeowners, commercial, and renters within the city of Bull Shoals, Arkansas. Do I have a motion to accept? Motion. Do I have in favor, second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This one we do need to have a second reading for. Or third reading, I'm sorry. I'd like to have a motion to suspend the rules for a third reading.
Make a motion to suspend. I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. The third reading of ordinance number 2025 by title only, number 11, an ordinance setting water, sewer, deposit fees, and outstanding debt for homeowners, commercial, and renters within the city of Bull Shoals, Arkansas. Have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Are any opposed? Next thing on new business, ordinance number 2025-12, clean premises, first reading. Before I go on, does anybody have any problem with this? I hate to read this all over again.
There were some edits that after the previous instance, so if there's any discussion, it would probably be pretty decent beforehand.
Yeah, well, they definitely had enough time to look it over, so.
Yeah.
Before you read it, I just want to say that I had some citizen feedback, and this is just a typical example of how things get done in real life. Is there were some things that were brought to me that were objectionable in the original one, and it's been a horse trading game basically to come up with a compromise. So as you're listening to this out there, not everyone out there is going to be happy about everything, but it's definitely different and better, I believe, than what we had the first go around. So just keep in mind that not everybody wins everything they want. So I think this is a good ordinance on the face of it. We made some changes, so we're trying.
Anybody else? Ordinance 2025-12, an ordinance titled the Bull Shoals Code dealing with clean premises violations and enforcement. Whereas the Bull Shoals City Council has been asked by citizens to establish and enforce updated codes to keep privately owned areas clean and safe. And whereas existing ordinance need to be updated and replaced to accomplish city beautification and to eliminate health and safety issues. And whereas for the health, safety, and well-being of the citizens of the city of Bull Shoals, it is of the utmost urgency to adopt this ordinance, giving the city the ability to maintain codes and enforcement of clean premises. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, Section 1, Clean Premises. A, requirements of owners, property managers, or occupants of property. The owners, property managers, or occupants of any block or lot or part of block or lot abutting any gutter, curb, or ditch of any street of said property within the city of Bull Shoals limits are hereby required to: 1. Maintain yards, improve fields and commercial lots, cut, remove weeds, grass, and brush, or any other uncultivated plants which are not used for agricultural purposes which exceeds the height of 10 inches. Property owners, property managers, or occupants are responsible for the upkeep of their properties and the ditch line up to the street or highway or drivable roadway. 2. Remove garbage, rubbish, or any other unsanitary or unsightly articles and things including but not limited to household furniture, boards, bricks, sheet metals, construction materials, appliances, plumbing fixtures, and inoperable machinery. This article applies to items which are in public view and are not being used in immediate construction projects. 3. Take steps necessary to eliminate or remove stagnant pools of water or any other unsanitary thing, place, or condition which might become a breeding place for flies, mosquitoes, and germs harmful to the health of the community. 4. Remove any items, whether valuable or junk, which may collect and interfere with the flow of drainage waters in ditches, drains, or culverts. 5. Once a property has been cleared by tree removal, grading, bush hogging, or improved by any means, the property owner, property managers, or occupants of the property must maintain the property as described in Section 1A1 of this ordinance. An exception shall be made for immediate construction projects, provided that once construction has concluded and been approved by the city building inspector, adherence to the above described requirements shall begin within 14 calendar days. Section 2, clean premises enforcement. A. Violators of Section 1 shall be given written notice that they have 7 calendar days to correct the violation. Notice shall be given by personal delivery or certified mail to the last known address or by posting the notice on the premises. If the condition is not corrected in the 7 days, the city or private contractors hired on behalf of the city shall be authorized to enter the violating premises to perform work as required to correct the violation. The owners, property managers, or occupants may be issued such fines and citations due to their own inaction as are authorized in this or other ordinances or state laws and may be charged and cited into Bull Shoals District Court. The cost incurred by the city may be claimed as restitution in addition to any associated fines or costs levied. In cases where notice has been provided and the violator does not respond, one notice shall be considered sufficient for situations where work to correct a violation must be done repeatedly, such as mowing or water drainage, provided said notice is given at least once per calendar year. After the work has been completed, the city shall provide second notice to the owner of the total cost to resolve the violation, including administrative and filing costs, and such second notice shall comport with the requirements of Arkansas Code Section 14-54-903E, and shall constitute notice of the amount of cleanup lien, should one be sought. B. Procedures where owner's whereabouts are unknown or is a non-resident. In the event the owner has not been located after a due diligent search, the city may file a lien against the premises for the cost of cleanup, as authorized by Arkansas Code 14-54-902, in which the lien may be enforced against the real estate within 18 months by filing suit in Marion County District or Circuit Court. C. Owners that refuse to comply will need to comply under Arkansas Code Section 14-54-903, or a cleanup lien will be filed and the city of Bull Shoals will follow Arkansas Code Section 14-54-904. D, a person convicted of a violation of any of these codes for a first offense shall be guilty of an unclassified misdemeanor and shall be fined up to $1,000 per offense by the district judge. For premises violations that are not corrected, the fines may apply and be calculated for each day the violation continues, as well as any costs incurred by the city for the violation may be added as restitution. Section 3, severability. If any provision, clause, sentence, paragraph, or section of this ordinance or the application thereof shall be held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect the other provisions of this ordinance which may be in effect without the invalid provisions or applications, and to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are declared severable. Section 4, the ordinance shall take effect immediately upon passage and posting. Section 5, this ordinance repeals and replaces Ordinance 95-16, 96-08, 2008-02, 2008-05, and 2008-10. Do I have a motion to accept?
I got a question. I agree with this whole thing. There's one thing I don't agree with. What is it? Section 1, number 4. Of course, a lot of people know where I live. I live over on Paces Ferry. I drive up and down Summit every day. To me, the city has come down that road with the John Deere tractor, with a sidearm on it, and has trimmed them limbs that are impinging on the road itself. And they never come back and pick up the brush. It floods when it rains hard. It always floods over Summit right there. You know that. A week or so ago, they had a water leak on that road.
Yeah.
Them dead trees that they pulled out of the ground are still laying there. If the citizens of this town's got to keep their ditches clean, then the city needs to clean up their mess after they get done cutting.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I mean, I
This
agree
is the
with
first I've heard about it.
I agree with it,
But there's no problem with that. We'll definitely get that taken care of immediately tomorrow.
If you got ready to tree it.
Looking for a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
There a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like to have a motion to read it by title only at next council meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is a resolution 2025 R13.
And this is just to move forward with the need, right?
Yeah, this is a resolution certifying the amount of cleanup lien to be filed with the Marion County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 211 Alford Drive, Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, and for the other purposes. Whereas a certain property located at 211 Alford Drive, Bull Shoals, Arkansas, was declared to have become dilapidated, unsightly, unsafe, unsanitary, obnoxious, or detrimental to the public welfare. And whereas the residential structure located at 211 Alford Drive, Bull Shoals, Arkansas, should be removed and or raised due to the reasons set forth in Arkansas Code 1456-203, whereas 1454-903 provides that if the owners or lien holders of any lot or structure have, after having been given 7 days notice in writing to do so, refuses to remove, abate, or eliminate the nuisance property, the city of Bull Shoals is authorized to do what is necessary to correct the conditions and charge the cost thereof to the owners of the real property. And whereas according to the Marion County Assessor's Office, parcels number 706-19148-000 and parcel 760-19149-000, described as 211 Alford Drive, Bull Shoals, Arkansas, is owned by Celine Katrine Scott Colleen and Jeffrey David Colleen Sr., who have, after receiving notice from the city regarding the conditions of the property, see attached Exhibit A and A1, failed to abate the conditions, and whereas pursuant to Arkansas Code 1454-901 and Act 854 of 207, the City of Bull Shoals is authorized to abate the nuisance condition, establish a lien for the costs associated therewith, and collect the same in order to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, Section 1, that on a hearing of the facts, see attached Exhibit B and B1, the City Council held a hearing on January 30th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. and as a result of that hearing hereby declared that proper notice was given to the owner or owners and lien holders or holders of the subject property to remove, abate, and eliminate the public nuisance condition on the subject property located at 211 Alford Drive, more specifically described as Lot 9, Block 4 of McDonald Meadow Subdivision, Marion County, Arkansas, as shown by the recorded plot thereof, subject to the 10-foot sewer line easement across and along the easterly side of lot, all of Lot 10, Block 4 of McDonald Meadow Subdivision, Marion County, Arkansas, as shown by the recorded plot thereof, except the following described tract, described as being at the northwest corner of Lot 10, run thence south 34 degrees west to the southwest corner of said Lot 10, run thence south 56 degrees east, 25 feet, thence north 22 degrees, 46 minutes east, 135.6 feet to the place of beginning. Section 2. The City Council further declares that the owners and lien holders of the subject property failed to remove, abate, or eliminate the public nuisance conditions at the property after it was condemned pursuant to our Ordinance 2025-02 in the time allowed by law, and the city then abated the public nuisance condition at a cost of not less than $3,798.19 as of 8/6/2025. See attached hereto as Exhibit C. Section 3. The City Council further declares that on presentation of facts that at a public hearing, the city is entitled to a priority cleanup lien in the amount of $3,798.19 cost of abatement plus an additional $45 filing fee for the subject lien's certification against the subject property. This lien is provided for in Arkansas Code 1454-903. May be enforced and collected at any time within the 10 years after the lien has been filed in either one of the following manners as provided for in Arkansas Code 1454-904. 1. By an action for foreclosure in the circuit court, or 2. The amount so determined at this public hearing plus 10% penalty for collection to be certified to the Marion County tax collector to be placed on the tax books as delinquent taxes and collected accordingly. Section 4. That if the owners or lien holders fail to pay the amount of the herein certified cleanup lien in the time allowed by law, attorneys representing the city are hereby directed to pursue any and all proper legal actions for collection of the amount of said lien plus all applicable costs. Section 5. That the provisions of this resolution are hereby declared to be severable, and if any section, phrase, or provision shall be declared or held invalid such invalidity shall not affect the remainder of the section's phrases or provisions. Section 7, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval. Have a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor, or do we have any discussion?
I got a question for you.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be a stickler.
No.
On the front page where it says, whereas according to Marion County Assessor Office parcel numbers, you said 706 and it should be
760. 760. Did I do it that quick? That's the last.
So I'm just saying if it's going to be able to do it, it needs to be.
So it should be 760-19148-000 and 760-19149-000.
Yes. I'm just.
Okay, no. I can make mistakes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment about this because it's already been brought up by Councilman Howell. All this did was remove that 5-foot diameter red oak tree off the top of the house. It didn't fix any of the dilapidated structure itself where you still have holes through the roof and you still have all that debris on the ground and all the glass and all the other junk and the dead car. It didn't do anything. All it did was take out the tree. That's what the $3,700 is for. Nothing else. So it's still okay. But you guys need to know that this is just the start. All it did was take a tree down.
This is a long process, folks, and this is part of it.
If you haven't go drive past it, you'll understand why this is such an important thing. It's definitely an issue.
All right, I got a motion and a second. We've gotten done with the discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Got to hear another resolution. This was a late contender. We've been working on these particular ones I've been working on for the last 4 days. That's why my eyes are bloodshot. But they're in reference to our budget that we had passed in January of 2025. One is for parks, and the other one is for dam site campgrounds to amend the budget that was passed. Resolution number 2025-R14, the resolution amending certain line items of the fiscal year 2025 city budget for parks, whereas the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals, Arkansas, pursuant to applicable state and local laws, adopted the fiscal year 2025 city budget on January 30th, 2025, and whereas the City Council has determined that it is necessary and in the public interest to amend certain line items of the adopted budget to better reflect current priorities, respond to unforeseen needs, or reallocate sources more efficiently. And whereas Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated by reference reflects the original budgeted line item values to be amended, and whereas Exhibit B attached hereto and incorporated by reference reflects the revised budget line items values as proposed by this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals, Arkansas as follows. Section 1, the City Council hereby approves the amendments to the fiscal year 2025 city budget as set forth in the Exhibit B, which supersedes the corresponding line items listed in Exhibit A. Section 2, the city treasurer or their designee is hereby authorized and directed to make the necessary entries in the city financial system to implement the budget amendments contained herein and to take all necessary actions to effectuate the intent of this resolution. Section 3, the resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. And, Exhibit A is the old, or the past line items. And Exhibit B, it's parks line items, line item from 671040 Insurance General, which is, we're taking money out of that line item and putting it into line item 6625 Insurance Browns Beach of $750. Line item from 671040 Insurance General to line item 6630 Insurance Point Return, $100. Out of the 671040 Insurance General, putting in 5100 contract labor, $500. The 671040 Insurance General, putting into 6060 annual boat pass, $25. From 671040 Insurance General, putting into 6471 equipment Dan User, $1,425. Out of 671040 Insurance General, putting into 6150 capital improvements, point return, $150. Out of 6200 capital improvements, putting into 6471 equipment Dan User, $575. From 6200 capital improvement to 6561 fuel expense diesel, $425. From 6220 cleaning services and supplies to 6570 inmate meals, $500. From 6220 cleaning service supplies to 7350 postage, $100. From 6220 cleaning services supplies, 6561 fuel expense diesel, $125. From 7470 repair and maintenance buildings to 7520 solid waste contract, $1,000. From 7475 repair and maintenance equipment to 7520 solid waste contract, $500. From 7475 repair and maintenance equipment, 7911 utilities Dan User, $500. From 7940 utilities water sewer to 7911 utilities Dan User, $500. From 6220 cleaning services supplies to 6010 advertising, $525. From 7940 utilities water sewers to 6010 advertising, $3,500. From 6470 equipment to 6010 advertising, $675. From 6470 equipment to 6134 swim area, $2,325. From 4140 donation to 6134 swim area, $2,486. Have any questions?
You didn't give me that resolution.
I think I gave it to you on page, didn't
I don't have 14 or 15.
That's right. How did you miss that? I thought you put it on this table. It's on your table. Oh,
Lynn, are you still here?
Yes, I can't see you.
Are you in agreement with all this? I'm just curious.
I am, as long as, when everything is said and done, and there is a profit after I pay all my bills, that the money goes back into the parks, not into the general fund, which it has been done ever since we opened up these parks. I pay the bills, the profit that comes from them went back into the general. This is why we have things that are not done It's time the city sits up and helps me. It's their parks.
This is actually the first year that we're actually putting money into our parks.
Yeah, it is.
I'm proud of it, so, but when we passed the budget, it was kind of thrown together. We had to use 2024's budget for 2025. Unfortunately, those line items didn't match up, and this is to correct those line items.
That budget that we set up this year was actually 2 years old. That it just slid down the line that they didn't have correct numbers, and I still don't have correct numbers from last year. So, we were in a mess. We can't hopefully, it won't go.
Because I don't want people to think that we just sat there and come up with those figures.
No.
Because we didn't. The fact is that on Tuesday, we had Lynn sitting at the desk for 2.5 hours, helping us go over line item by line item, looking at how we were going to have to cover this so that it made sense to anybody that wanted to look at it. And we had things with $1,000 here, we used zero, but we had places here that used $600, but we had nothing in the budget. So we had to do something. But also saying that, we had Lynn also go over the 26 budget with us, so it actually meets her needs and the needs of the park for the city. Okay? I don't want you guys to think we're just coming up and throwing mud at the wall and see if it sticks.
And really, this is a process that every city goes through. You know, we don't have a magic, icing ball in front of us, crystal ball saying that, you're going to need $573.18 for a particular line item. So, this is an ongoing process that every city ends up doing. We're just trying to catch up on it this year.
And thank you for all the donations and the people that have helped and painted, because we could have never done it without you.
I'm looking for a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Next one is basically the same as the first one. This is resolution number 2025-R15, a resolution amending certain line items of the fiscal year 2025 city budget for dance site campground. Whereas the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Arkansas, pursuant to applicable state and local laws, adopted the fiscal year 2025 city budget on January 30th, 2025, and whereas the City Council has determined that it is necessary and in the public interest to amend certain line items of the adopted budget to better reflect current priorities, respond to unforeseen needs, or reallocate resources more efficiently. And whereas Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated by reference reflects the original budgeted line item values to be amended. And whereas Exhibit B attached hereto and incorporated by reference reflects the revised budget line item values as proposed by this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Arkansas as follows. Section 1, the City Council hereby approves the amended to the fiscal year 2025 city budget as set forth in Exhibit B, which supersedes the corresponding line items listed in Exhibit A. Section 2, the city treasurer or their designee is hereby authorized and directed to make the necessary entries in the city financial system to implement the budget amendments contained herein and to take all necessary actions to effectuate the intent of this resolution. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. Under Exhibit B, dance site campground, from line item 4090 revenue to 6475 equipment, $2,600. From 4485 surplus sales to 6210 cell phones, $500. From 4485 surplus sales to 6620 reimbursements, $419.93. From 4485 surplus sales to 5100 contract labor, $477.07. From 4055 FEMA to 5100 contract labor, $5,664.47. From 6015 advertising to 6220 cleaning services supplies, $200. From 5010 donation fund to 6290 dam site lease, $300. From 5010 donation fund to 6291 park host, $1,200. From 7535 supplies to 6600 insurance, $300. From 7535 supplies to 7315 petty cash, $50. From 7535 supplies to 7350 postage, $150. From 7535 supplies to 7470 repair and maintenance building, $1,000. From 7535 supplies to 7530 office supplies, $200. From 7900 utilities to 7910 utilities dam site, $4,000. From 7900 utilities to 7570 internet phone, $1,800. From 79 utilities to 6290 dam site lease, $300. That's going to be a 5-year deal, so we won't have to pay for the next 4 years. From 79 utilities to 7940 utility water, $400. From 79 utilities to 7470 repair and maintenance building, $1,000. I have a motion to accept.
Motion.
Any, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next thing on the agenda. We already did the acceptance of water tower proposal. Citizens' comments.
Tim Curtis, Bull Shoals, 201 out for this. Just want to let everybody know, the Bull Shoals City Hunt, the rapid here inside city limits, starts September 1st. You're going to see trucks on the side of the roads. You might see them dragging the gear out and everything else. They should have a placard on their dash or anything else, and everything. But this is something, if any of y'all have ever got some of the tick-borne illnesses, you'll know what I mean. We need to wipe some of these out, or if you hit one with your car or something, or they eat up your garden. And if you need somebody to come behind your, that you want to have on your property, call me. I'm in it. I'm one of the, there's only 2 of us left that has been in every single one since the city started it. And I was one of the guys implementing with Winston Parkinson to get it started, and Mark even. And so if y'all want some assistance to get them wiped out of your yards, let us know. We'll get it done. The other thing is it's, you know me with bees, guys. I tell you what, it's been terrible. It's been one of the worst years ever. The honey production is way down. The nationwide, 68% of commercial beehives were lost. I talked to a guy that's got over 89,000 beehives down in Jonesboro. He lost 63,000 beehives, and they're valued between $600 and $1,000. So if you're going to be spraying your yards, please spray in the mornings or late in the evenings, right before dark and everything. And if it says put 1 bag of diazonine crystals for your yard, don't put 10, because it's your, as soon as it gets wet, the bees drink that, take it back to the hive, and you kill the hives. I personally, and my partner, we lost 53% of our hives this last year. And we're back up again to 32 bee hives, trying to get through the winter and everything else. But if you see a swarm, Call the police and say, hey, you got a swarm or something, or you got a building that's got some beehives in it, they got bees in it, we'll gladly come get them out for you. I've got the vacuums, I've got everything, we can get it. And once again, thank you all, I appreciate it. February 28th, it runs all the way through this year. So, and it's unlimited tags, so if you see somebody and he shoots, he's dragging 3 deer out, it's legal and everything in town, okay? We can shoot as many as we want, no limit.
Don't you have to donate the first one to?
Yeah, the first one has to be donated to Hunter Feeding the Hungry, and most of the time people, and it has to be an adult deer. They don't want to bring in, a small deer in, they want to bring one in, because they just charge per deer and everything else. And all that meat that is donated and everything, it goes to, if it's in Lakeview or Bull Shoals, it goes to Baxter or Marion County and goes to the battered women's shelter, the men's shelter, and anything left over, then the cities can see if they can pick some up. And over a ton was donated, I believe, last year. Food bank, and the food bank. So, and it's all ground hammered, and you can't beat it, it's delicious, so. Thank you.
Just bow blue, we don't get out the AR-15.
Any more?
You had to also, you had to go to the, check in on it and everything else. You had to, shoot 3 arrows into a deer consecutively and all. And there's only about 56 people in it. And they will have a placard on their vehicle if their vehicle on the side of the road.
Again, David, from a free Catherine Court here in Bull Shoals. Don't want to say I'm really encouraged to see how quickly this town's improved. It's a lot cleaner, seeing garbage being mowed, seeing junk vehicles disappearing off the streets, seeing new businesses open. Mr. and Mrs. Hutchison took the plunge, invested some time and money, and they seem to be doing quite well. There's a couple of other businesses looking at coming to town too, and I'd like other potential business owners about coming to town, and they're thinking about it because they see the town improving. Our reputation is changing. And parks are getting better, parks are getting cleaned up. I go through there once in a while and see a lot of kids playing on the playground, people walking their dogs, enjoying picnics and cookouts, so things are vastly improved there. Councilman Howell, in particular, worked tirelessly to improve this town. He's got grant money for us, he's working really hard. But the mayor, all of you are, and I just want you to know that it's not going unnoticed, and I appreciate it. Overall, things are getting better very quickly under this administration. On the other hand, we've got a small group of people in this town that are constantly harassing and trying to impede the progress being made by this current administration. They're posting mean-spirited, hateful, and in my opinion, childish memes and misinformation on social media. They're inundating City Hall with FOIA requests tying up the personnel that are trying to get their job instead they're fooling with these FOIAs. And then they have the unmitigated audacity to not even come and pick them up or refuse to pay for them. I've noticed the same group of people are never at any of the volunteer projects that we have in town here, because they're quick to criticize. I saw Mr. Canada here, no offense, 80 years old, I imagine. I know you're more 82. Out there working a rake and picking up sticks with, 30-years-olds. And your dog. Yeah. So they're good, quick to criticize, but slow to assist. And those people, I say, just knock it off. Cease and desist. This is ridiculous behavior, and you're an embarrassment to the city, and you're an embarrassment to yourselves. Instead of criticizing and tearing down what we're trying to build for your own personal gratification, it would seem, roll up your sleeves and help us improve the city. Mayor Stallman and the current council are doing an outstanding job. And to the detractors, I say, grow up and start acting like adults and stop this hateful, childish behavior. I'm sure by saying this, I'm sure I'll become a target. You're a good for all, but that's fine. I'm used to it. But keep up the good work that you're all doing, and I want to thank you for the service you're providing the community. And I got to tell you, I've never seen anybody, group of people work so hard for such a small amount of money, which you all are doing. So thank you very much.
Any more citizens' comments?
Okay, then I guess it's my turn. As you came in, if you noticed the plaque that Scott had made, he took his time and donated, and it's for the presentation for the donated property that the Alvarez family gave to us. And one of the requirements that Dave Alvarez wanted was this plaque to be attached to the building. And if you want to read it.
Do I have to? Well, I made it word for word from what the mayor gave me, so don't think I wrote this. But it said, let it be known that on the 8th day of May 2025, City Block 42, lots 1 through 16, and 2 buildings were donated by the Alvarez family to the city of Bull Shoals in memory of Suzanne Reed. I am donating the sign in memory of Suzanne, but I'm donating it to the city of Bull Shoals, and that is installed. That's why you see the grass crews here. I've done some measurements. I'm ready whenever the mayor is to go attach it to the building, and I hope it's satisfactory to everybody.
What we're going to plan on doing is sometime here in the next week or so, we'll have a ceremony down at that building where we'll unveil it once it's attached to the building. So we'll invite the press so that you can be there.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. And one other small note, this is red, native red cedar, it comes from Bruce Creek Sawmill, and that's all I use is native woods on my projects. I enjoy doing it, like I say, and I was really moved by Suzanne. I'm pretty sure she took care of me like within a day or two of her death,
No, we appreciate you.
Thank you. I enjoy it, it keeps me busy.
And I'm working with a couple people to put together the ceremony, so just keep tuned into Facebook. I'll let Linda know when we finally come up with a date and time to have the unveiling down on the building. So. And just to go on, we have had numerous requests for FOIAs, and some of them have been rather lengthy. And there is a charge to it, so they refuse to come and pick them up. I want to thank to all the citizens that have volunteered their time, equipment, and labor helping this community, and their neighbors cleaning up the town. If any and all, we can get the others that hate this town to put their efforts and time to make this a better place to live. We can get the haters to help us out. And on October 6th at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the City Hall will have blood drive again here in the chambers. So again, October 6th coming up just around the corner next month. Not next month, but the month after. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at City Hall here. Anybody have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Any opposed?